Hey guys, SK here, back with another Clash Royale video. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today we're just going to be chilling and playing some Hog Rider Earthquake, newly buffed after the recent balance changes in the new meta. So in this video I'm just going to be vibing, trying to get a clean 12-0 in this challenge I'm in, and teaching you guys how to play the best Hog Rider Earthquake deck in the meta. So we are playing with the newly buffed Mighty Miner, I would say, which was the biggest beneficiary of the balance changes in this deck. Now, Mighty Miner has historically always paired well with cycle decks, especially Hog Rider Earthquake being a nice tank killer, and especially a champion affording that 3-card cycle to the deck. So the buff to the Mighty Miner means that it just charges up its damage even faster and gets a maximum damage capacity that much easier, which just means it's going to be a lot better on defense and even on offense to some extent. Now, we also got a very nice evolved cannon buff where the barrage damage deals more damage, which now means that you can use the evolved cannon in combination with cards like Firecracker Incremental Chip or something like a Spirit to kill important cards such as the Skeleton Dragons and the Flying Machine. Right there you can see the newly buffed Mighty Miner reaching that maximum damage capacity. My opponent went for a Rage and arrows, and it still wasn't enough to kill the Mighty Miner and get on the tower in time, so very effective there. And another important thing in the balance changes, both of the Evo cycle cards were very unfortunately nerfed. Both the Ice Spirit and Skeletons taking a huge hit to their evolved versions, which just means they're going to be weaker, and we're actually substituting out of the deck entirely. You know, the base cards are still some of the best cards in the game, obviously paramount to any cycle deck, and they're never really going to change in vitality and importance. But I just think that some new versions might be running other evolutions instead. You know, Hog Rider Earthquake has always done well with the Evolved Firecracker. I'm sure you guys hate Evolved Firecracker going against it. You know how painful it is to play against. And so we're running that, and then we are running the newly buffed Evolved Cannon, like I mentioned. Gonna Evo Firecracker the bridge right here. Look at that damage on the Goblin-Stein and the Doctor and on the tower. Plus we can just log to kill that Goblin-Stein. That's going to be perfect. Here we'll see the Evolved Cannon full effect. As you can see, it knocks everything back, knocking that Ram Rider back and splashing, meaning that the Ram Rider doesn't even get a charge on the cannon. Not to mention, it just looks beautiful on the map sitting there like that with that fancy animation, and not animation, but just, well, the animation when it spawns, yeah, but also just the cosmetics of the card. Look at that aesthetic vibes, man. That is so beautiful. But Firecracker also generally just a very unkillable card for the most part. If the opponent does not have any counters to the card, they just cannot touch the Firecracker to save their lives, and so it's just going to get a lot of value. P.E.K.K.A's going to get close to the tower, but we're just barely going to be fine. And since he went for the arrows, we can go for a new Firecracker right now. Evolved variety. We'll be taking a bunch of damage, but I think, considering we had a whole evolved P.E.K.K.A Goblin-Stein E-Drag push coming down, it's not too bad to survive with this much HP left. You know, we're still very much in this fight. Plus, I have an evolved Firecracker on the board, which will be forcing out an arrows promptly if I can just protect it well. A big tip for this deck, guys, protect your Firecrackers. As you can see, just being a nuisance on the board, splashing everywhere, forcing out the arrows, and I'm already back to a new Firecracker, which I will abuse. And what in the world was that P.E.K.K.A hit, dude? P.E.K.K.A is not a real card. That's ridiculous range. But we'll go for the Ice Spirit, go for the Evolved Cannon right here for this Ram Rider. And there is actually some micro involved. You do have to know the Evolved Cannon placement and timings, I guess, to get that knockback on everything. But nonetheless, it's still just a very fun card to play after the balances. Now, for those of you who might be free to play or just don't have the card levels for the Mighty Miner version, it's very easy to substitute it for any other version in the game right now, so don't fret, don't be worried. You can still play this archetype very effectively. I would say you can still play it with the Knight, the Valkyrie, or even the Goblin-Stein. In fact, top ladder players right now are running Hog EQ quite a lot, and many have the Goblin-Stein right now. So both Mighty Miner and Goblin-Stein viable in this deck. I did see Riley do super well in the global tournament with this specific version, you know, Evo Cannon, Evo Firecracker with, again, the Mighty Miner, so should be solid. Now that we're going to pop our ability, we can keep the Mighty Miner alive for that 3-card cycle. I'll take a bunch of Ram Rider damage, not worried about it. We'll go for the Hog Rider in the middle of this defense. Very important fundamental with this deck, as you can see, he doesn't have anything for the Hog, and that's going to be a good game, is pressure while defending, where you have a huge push coming down, you Hog at the same time to not only defend through offense, force them to respond on defense, but oftentimes if they're overcommitting on offense and you still have a clean defense, you can get away with a good defense and sneak a couple of Hog hits in there. So we are now 10-0, going again for that clean 12-0 into this next match against this Japanese player from Nocturnality. See what he's going to be running. Just going to go for the Mighty Miner on here. And as for evolutions, I guess if you guys really wanted to, you could run Evolved Skeletons still. You know, Evolved Skeletons, Evolved Firecracker, not the end of the world. It's just that they are genuinely so much worse now. It's a bit tragic, but they really are that much worse that I would say it's not worth playing them anymore. And I guess, you could replace the Evolved Cannon if you really wanted to. I do not think you should be replacing the Evolved Firecracker. That is such a nice card in Hog Earthquake. And honestly, if you want to have fun with Hog Earthquake, you would even play like Archer Queen instead of Firecracker. There used to be some versions out there with that, but I would say that, you know, just having the Mighty Miner again is pretty solid. But Hog EQ is such a versatile archetype and really can beat any matchup if played well. So I really do think this is one of the best decks in the whole meta after the balance change. That's why I just wanted to play a chill challenge and showcase it for you guys. Now we are up against Mega Knight Miner Prince. This is probably Mega Knight Wall Breakers, if I had to guess. You know, that's a pretty common meta deck and a very annoying one at that. We'll see what we can do in this match here. By the way, as for tower troops, I think Prince's tower is actually the best, but I just love playing strong Cannoneer decks, you know? Like, if you face, you saw the game against P.E.K.K.A just now, if you face any kind of beatdown, Cannoneer is so broken, and Hog EQ does not really struggle against cycle decks that much, so you should be fine against those two. You know, Splash Yard is definitely a lot worse, but Hog EQ was already getting countered by Splash Yard to begin with, so it's not like it's the end of the world that you're worse against Splash Yard having that Cannoneer instead of Prince's tower. By the way, Prince is really broken. How did that even get a charge? Well played, man. That was totally deserved. That is a ridiculous card. Let's go Hog Rider to kite these bats back. Very important play with this deck as well, guys. Again, Hog, not only pressure while defending, but also just defense through offense again. We even sneak a Hog hit in there while defending those bats pretty effectively. Gonna go Firecracker Mighty Miner here, just because I don't really trust myself around those bats. Again, Cannoneer does have some weaknesses and is very much susceptible to swarms. That's why it pairs so well with the Firecracker, though I feel like, you know, Hog EQ, one of the best decks that can run Cannoneer. Like, you will just destroy Golem, Giant even, with this deck. I'm leaking Elixir, I'm not sure what to do. I just wanted to make sure that Queen died, I guess. Go for our Evo Cannon, try and get the barrage on the Queen. Beautiful, look at that satisfying sequence. My goodness, guys, that was amazing. Like, that is just so satisfying, I can't even believe it. We'll force out the Evo Mega Knight on defense here, and it's going to be level 12, so it's going to be a bit of a pain. Mighty Miner is useless against that, so what we're going to have to do is probably get a second cannon on this pretty quickly. And let's go for that right now. Mighty Miner's just going to kind of sit there as a meat shield. We'll also go Hog again. Pressure while defending. He's low on Elixir after spending Ghost, Mega Knight, and Zap on offense. And as you can see, we're going to get a couple Hog hits in there. Just snuck through, so pretty chill. We'll go Firecracker, Mighty Miner, and I think I will take those Wall Breakers in the right. Only one of them, actually, because Cannoneer does pretty good against Wall Breakers. It'll one-shot them. And yeah, we're still chilling. You know, I'll go Ability if I can. No, we'll pop down in time, so we'll get our refund on Elixir. And I can just go Ice Spirit to full counter this Queen, because again, Cannoneer is so strong. Like, Prince's Tower would not have full counter there. Cannoneer damage is just insane. I went Hog thinking he would like go for a support troop in the back, but Prince is the most unfortunate I could have gotten, so unfortunately that'll just be a pretty bad negative trade. Hog into a Prince, but it's not the end of the world. Firecracker's going to cook on all those bats now. I'm going to get the log down. I think I will Skellies to kite the Prince over, then Hog pressure. Well, actually, I do have to. My cycle's a bit awkward. Ice Spirit for this Prince, too. Please don't chart. Dude, what is that Prince, man? Like, Prince is not a real card. That would have been 2 hits if that didn't happen. But nonetheless, we'll go Firecracker, Log, Skellies to kite these bats over, and then Evo Cannon for all those bats as well. Look at them getting nuked. Look at the Wall Breakers getting nuked. I swear, Evo Cannon is just so nice, guys, after that buff. Like, it was already pretty decent, just that there wasn't really much of a reason to use it. Now that I got that buff, changed quite a few interactions. You know, it will one-shot stuff like Princess, Dark Goblin. And speaking of Princess, Dark Goblin, another reason I want to showcase Hog EQ for you guys today is because it's so good against bait, and bait is everywhere in the meta. Don't let what Dybala says fool you. Bait is very strong, very overpowered in the meta, and has been like that for months on end. Got one of the best seasons it's ever had last season with a bunch of different versions, honestly. And right now it's back again with the Evo Dark Goblin, so you'll have to be careful of that. We do get a Hog hit, so that's just going to be Log. EQ range, I think, yes, it should be, so I'm just going to make sure I'm going to defend this and then just get the EQ down to win the game. Evo Cannon, so satisfying as always. Very clean win, and as you can see, like, Mega Knight, P.E.K.K.A decks, I just beat P.E.K.K.A and Mega Knight back-to-back. If you guys struggle with either of those, Hog EQ is definitely going to be a big pick, and a good pick for you guys to deal with those beatdown type matchups. Now into our last one against Ghost. But yeah, like I said, Hog EQ does counter most bait versions, and bait is so good in the meta, so another reason to be running it. Cannoneer does put you at a bit of a disadvantage, but I feel like you should still be fine having the Firecracker and the 3-card cycle with the Mighty Miner again. So we see a Goblinstein come down. It's going to go for my Log, and ooh, we see a Hog, so it's probably going to be a Hog EQ mirror match. Honestly, pretty rare in this day and age. I'll go Ice Spit for that Goblin Doctor, and of course the Hog gets a hit. I swear my Hogs don't get 1 HP hits, but their Hogs always get that last minute 1 HP hit, man. Is so annoying, but nonetheless, he's going to activate King off this Firecracker. Bit unfortunate, guys. That's the one downside of Firecracker. It pairs so well with this deck. It covers so many options. But the one downside of it is that it does give up a free king tower. Nonetheless, it's not the end of the world. I feel like it's just something you have to accept. And if you want to be careful, you can try and not give up the king tower early in the match if you can. It's going to be a straight Hog EQ mirror match, guys. I'll do my best to show you, number one, how to play the mirror matchup, and number two, just how to play against another cycle deck in general, because we've played against 2 beatdown decks so far. Let's go Ice Spit for this Hog, Skellies for the Firecracker, just to take no hits from either of the two. Plus, we got our King Tower activated off of that nice cannon placement. So a little tip, guys, that I'm sure you already knew, but yeah, if you are ever against, you know, a Hog plus Firecracker push, also well played with that cannon. Just Hog said nope and just bypassed it, so, you know, we're just chilling. But yeah, if you guys are ever against, like, you know, Hog plus Firecracker, or even like Mega Knight plus Firecracker, just go for your building in the place when I showed you around that area that'll activate King off a Firecracker. And it's just a very useful thing that some people might not do, and it just puts you at a disadvantage to not be doing that. We'll EQ here, and then Ice Spirit to protect our Firecracker. Actually, it's going to go too high, so I think there's no point it's going to die. I was thinking about it, but okay, we'll go Cannon here. We can Ice Spirit on defense. Beautiful Evo Cannon. Look at that, killing the skeletons of the Evolved variety, hitting that Goblinstein Doctor. Just, I love the Evo Cannon, man. Like, I feel like it was always pretty decent, just kind of overshadowed, but now there's kind of a reason to be using it, and it's just so effective. So we are actually in a damage deficit by 2 HP. Terrible play to EQ the Mighty Miner. I just went Mighty Miner to the back to get our 3-card cycle down. Opponent goes for a anti-Earthquake Cannon and epically fails. Going to take 1 Hog hit, if not 2. And I've already outcycled him, so I can go for another Hog if I want. You know what, let's just go for high EQ on the Evo Firecracker and the Cannon. Just take that out real quick. Very nice. I went Log just in case that didn't pull. It's all good. And yeah, we have a huge damage lead now, because we got 1 Hog hit snuck through with this failed micro, and we got some Evo Firecracker chip damage on the tower, it looks like. I'm just going to cycle my Firecracker at the back, just being efficient here. A big tip with this deck, guys, you don't want to just spam Hog Riders for no reason. Like, honestly, you don't. Also, that Hog's going to get kited across the world. Very nice there. Get him an international passport. Gonna pop Village, hopefully kill the... Okay, doesn't solo Skellies and Ice Spirit maybe to protect our Firecracker. If we need to, a Hog. But yeah, very nice to know a good micro with this deck, guys. We'll go Hog, Ice Spirit, Skellies. You can see with the 3-card cycle already back to a Hog. Have you guys ever seen 2 Hogs on the board? Now, that wasn't even that good of a play. Have you seen 2 Hogs on the board at the same time when the last one was played like 3 seconds ago? That's what the 3-card cycle can do for you. Now, I want to show you guys a trick that is the anti-Earthquake Cannon that my opponent was trying to do and epically failed. I want to show you how to do it successfully. So you're going to have to shove the Hog over into the cannon. Really nice placement, by the way, going to hit the Goblinstein Doctor and Monster. Let's go Ice Spirit for this. Let's EQ high for the Firecracker. Do not be afraid to Earthquake high, guys. I'll log the Hog. We take 1 hit, unfortunately, but it's not the end of the world. And I'll get a second EQ on that Firecracker. Very nice 3-card cycle again. And yeah, my opponent's just in a world of hurt here. At this point, all I really have to do is defend, and I win. Like, I actually kind of feel bad for him almost, because he's just kind of getting destroyed in this Hog Mirror matchup. And I would say that Mighty Miner helps me a bit in the sense that I can get a 3-card cycle down, but Goblinstein's way better on offense than Mighty Miner in this matchup. I feel like my opponent's just playing it wrong. Now, that should be almost 2 EQs and 2 logs, I think, because 220 is 1 pair of... Yeah, that's going to be 1 more... 2 more EQs, rather. So we'll go EQ number 1, log, and then just get back to another EQ, and that should be good game. So we just kind of cooked the Hog Mirror matchup. Just kind of defended better than him. I didn't get a chance to show you guys the anti-Earthquake Cannon. Well, I did, but not the shove. But nonetheless, just kind of played better than my opponent there. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a very clean, beautiful 12-0 Classic Challenge. Just chilling here, you know, finished the week at university, just resting at home now. And just going to get a clean 12-0 on the mini account just to grind it out. Always a nice feeling when you get a 12 win, especially when you're not even playing your main deck. So yeah, like I said, guys, Hog EQ, very much back in the meta. Feel free to use it, especially with the newly buffed Mighty Miner and Evo Cannon. New evolution pair in this deck is able to beat a lot of different matchups. You can really beat anything in the game, just working on that 12-win Classic Challenge grind. And yeah, that's basically going to do it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.